Hello, my dear friends, my little babies. It's with a sad heart I come to you. Most of you have probably seen on the news that Jenni Rivera died in a plane crash. She was a famous banda singer in Mexico. She was the mother of 5 children. She was born in 1969. Along with her was her lawyer and I think her assistant. It was 6 other people on the plane. So, to the Rivera family, I give my condolences. Acapulco, Mexico is almost like my second home. I lived there for a while. Only reason I left is because I couldn't take the earthquakes. I'm from Chicago, so I'd rather deal with the snow than the earthquakes. But they were wonderful people to me, and I love them very much. It did help me a lot because I did learn to speak Spanish, but I have to thank the people of Acapulco because here it doesn't seem like the Spanish-speaking people are that friendly towards black people, and I never got a chance to really study or practice with them that much, even though I do have a few Mexican friends, Hispanic friends here in Waukegan. It's just not as close as it is when I'm in Mexico. In Mexico, and I'm not trying to say it's not any racism and prejudice there. Yes, it is. But it's just, you're just more friendlier. Maybe because I'm the minority there. So rest in peace, Jenni, and all the people who died with her on the plane. Just gone too long. You know, personally, I don't like those Lear jets. I'm sorry. If I gotta go, I'd rather go on a big jet. But you never know the time or the hour that you're gonna go. One thing I'd like to say is that I'm very thankful for the times that I did spend in Mexico. I'll probably be visiting Acapulco soon. Last time I was down there was to see my adopted family and Mexico, Acapulco. Mexico City I didn't ever like that much because it's very high altitude and I would always get that altitude sickness. I was okay after a couple of days, but that is earthquake territory. I was in 6 of them. And I'm going to tell you, when an earthquake hits there, it's just almost like the devil's knocking on your bedroom door. At my house, I had a whistle, flashlights, snacks, everything underneath my bed. And I had gas tanks, and I just knew that they were going to blow up if there was a quake. So that was the only thing I was scared of down there. And kidnapping, yes, but I had a bodyguard. And I had a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house. You never will guess how much it cost me. I rented it for $400, unfurnished now, for 450 American dollars a month. Swimming pool, everything. So you could, if you want to know how it feels to be a millionaire, Mexico is a place if you got American dollars. But as I said, I prefer. I had a choice. I lived there for 6 months. I've been going for 50 years, and I just decided that I'd rather stay in the United States. Has nothing to do with all the killing and everything that's going on down there and cutting up off the heads and the drug cartel. That's horrible, sure. And my family down there, my friends, they really are frightened because there's a lot of kidnapping going on and things like that. One thing I'd like to say, don't let this scare you from going to Mexico because I was down there in 2010 for Christmas, and my friends told me, I surprised them. They didn't even know I was going to show up. And when I walked up the hill where I used to live and opened, they don't nobody lock their doors down there, probably except at night. And they saw me at the door, oh, they ran and hugged me. And they says, did you walk up this hill by yourself? And the mother says, oh, she from Chicago. She ain't scared of nothing. And not that it should make any difference, but they're black Mexicans. There are Mexicans who look just like you and I. We're the same people. We have African ancestry. Only problem is they got off in Mexico and we got off here. As I told you before, the second president of Mexico was Vicente Guerrero. And there's a Afro-Mestizo museum in a place called Cuajiniculapa. And I'll write how you spell that. And if you go on the internet, just search African Mexicans and you'll see our people. When I went to Cuaji, people always told me about this place. It's about 3 hours, as I told you, from Acapulco. I took the Futuro bus, And when I got there the first time, I've been 3 times, the people walked up to me and they says, "Do you speak Spanish?" Now this is where you have the advantage when you speak 2 languages. I could either say yes or I could either say no. Sometimes when the guys ask me, I say no, and then I listen to whatever they have to say. And then if they have said something bad or good, then all of a sudden I come out with my Spanish and they say, "Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean no harm." I remember one time I was on the bus and the guy says, "Where do you think she's from?" in Spanish. "Do you think she's from Africa?" And I just let them talk, and they giggled and they laughed. What's so funny about being from Africa? I'll never understand. Every one of us are from Africa. I don't care how white you are, how black you are. Africa's the seat of civilization. So anyway, I turned around to them and I says, "No, yo no soy de África. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. Ten cuidado que tú dices, porque yo entiendo todos." I says, "No, I'm not from Africa. I'm from the United States. But be careful what you're saying, because people speak." And I says, "And you got black folks here, you know?" And then they look all funny. And some Mexican people tell me, "Oh, we ain't got no black people." Yes, you do. It's called the Costa Chica. Veracruz, Oaxaca, Guerrero. Guerrero's the last name of the president that I told you he was assassinated about 8 months by his vice president. And then the vice president was taken out by his guys. But he's the one who ended slavery in Mexico. So if ever you're in Acapulco, take a trip to a bus to Cuaji, Niculapa. It's an all-black town, about 8,000 people, I guess. Very friendly, very nice. I've been 3 times. It's flat land. It's not any beach, so I don't think I'd want to live there. It's kind of dusty, unpaved roads. Just the main road is paved. But these people just bend over backwards to be nice to me. I mean, I get on the bus. The guy says, "Please, you don't have to pay. That's okay. We're honored to have you here in our town." And I says, "Oh, no, come on." And he wouldn't take any money from me. So I always just go do something like bring them some soft drinks or something like that, because I have a hard time, taking things from people, especially people I know that don't have very much. And I found the people who were the poorest were just about the most generous. The rich, I found them being kind of stuck up and snottish. And again, that's that skin color down there too. The ones who look more black looked like they had the lower paying jobs, and the ones who looked more lighter, they had the better jobs. And but still, I had friends that were white Mexicans, Indian Mexicans, black Mexicans. One thing about Mexico, they don't hyphenate. If you're born in Mexico, they say you're Mexican, and that's it. Like we're born here in America, we're Americans. That African part, I've dropped it. I just say I'm a brown-skinned American if you got to know what color my skin is, but I'm an American. Because I've had so many problems with people from the African continent. I mean, I have enough problems with my own American black folks, but when a black woman from South Africa tells me, "You're not no sister of mine, we were never slaves," and I had to tell her, I says, "Baby, you were a slave in your own country. At least they had to take my ancestors out of there." And as hard as American black and white people worked so hard to free South Africa, get rid of that apartheid, and this heifer here working is going to try to tell me some stuff like that. So they all have been very arrogant. I know you shouldn't group all people together, but I have to keep it real. If there's any African people who are really nice, please contact me, because I'm sorry you're not representing yourself very well here. Whenever I went to Mexico or anywhere, I was told, please watch how I act, because I might be the first and the only person that looked like me that they've ever seen. So please act like you got some sense. And I always did. America, I really represented you. I mean, there was guys who thought I was supposed to be a slut and I was hot to try. And they must have thought I had sample on my face. "Ooh, I've never had a black woman. Could we try?" I says, "Man, are you crazy?" I says, "Do you look like samples on my face, on my body?" No, And I'm going to tell you, I like black men. I married 2 black Americans. And I would never sit up on this play and say nothing about black people. You don't have to. You can read the news and see what's going on. If black men only knew how wonderful they were, they wouldn't be spending their time running us down and talking about us. And I'll go more deep into that and talking about what kind of jobs we have and all that. That doesn't matter, sir. What matters is the content of your character. Yeah, can you imagine Dr. King getting on there talking the way some of these people talk? So that's it. I want to tell you about Acapulco and how I want to say rest in peace, Jenni Rivera. Okay, bye-bye. Peace, Jenni, and all the people who died with her on the plane. Just gone too long. You know, personally, I don't like those Lear jets. I'm sorry. If I gotta go, I'd rather go on a big jet. But you never know the time or the hour that you're gonna go. One thing I'd like to say is that I'm very thankful for the times that I did spend in Mexico. Wonderful people to me, and I love them very much. It did help me a lot because I did learn to speak Spanish, but I have to thank the people of Acapulco because here it doesn't seem like the Spanish-speaking people are that friendly towards black people, and I never got a chance to really study or practice with them that much, even though I do have a few Mexican friends, Hispanic friends here in Waukegan. It's just not as close as it is when I'm in Mexico. In Mexico, and I'm not trying to say it's not any racism and prejudice there. Yes, it is. But it's just, you're just more friendlier. Maybe because I'm the minority there. So rest in peace. With her was her lawyer, and I think her assistant. It was 6 other people on the plane. So to the Rivera family, I give my condolences. Acapulco, Mexico is almost like my second home. I lived there for a while. Only reason I left is because I couldn't take the earthquakes. I'm from Chicago, so I'd rather deal with the snow than the earthquakes. But they were... Hello, my dear friends, my little babies. It's with a sad heart I come to you. Most of you have probably seen on the news that Jenni Rivera died in a plane crash. She was a famous banda singer in Mexico. She was the mother of 5 children. She was born in 1969, along with